Good afternoon. I'm DeJarvis Leonard. I am the East Central Region Engineer for the Alabama Department of Transportation. We'd like to welcome you and thank you for attending the briefing for the I-2059 Bridge Project, better known as the CBD Bridges downtown Birmingham. Please make note of the chat message on the screen, which makes reference to questions being asked, and it makes reference to questions that can be asked audio at the end. Please make note of that. The purpose of the briefing is to keep you updated on the progress on the 5920 Bridge project. We're using a new method. Please make reference to this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, send those questions to Linda Crockett, our Public Information Officer, and she'll make those known to us if we need to make any changes to this method. What we're trying to do is keep you up to date monthly, and by doing this, we'll provide interviews after the update briefing. So feel free to get with Linda if you need to make a scheduled time to come and do an interview of the process. At this time, we'll go forward with the briefing. You should be able to see the PowerPoint presentation, which makes reference to the project itself. The project is broken up into three main phases for the CBD project, but prior to starting the CBD project, there was a phase A, which was under construction. It has been under construction for a year or so. Phase A consists of the new bridges that have been constructed over at 12th Avenue North and 31st Street. Currently, the 12th Avenue Bridge is being constructed and it's basically complete. We will be opening that section of the project on October the 6th. And when it opens, we will follow up with a closure of the 31st Street Bridge. However, keep in mind that the ramps at 31st Street will still be open. This is a screenshot of the detour that will be taking place or will be in place during the closure of the 31st Street. Notice that on Richard Avenue Boulevard by way of Vanderbilt, by way of 12th Avenue North. Phase 1 was 4 bridges that we widened at 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Avenue North. That project is complete, and we're waiting other projects to be complete to tie to this phase. Phase 2 consists of the rebuilding of the interchange at I-5920 and I-5920 and I-65. The purpose of this project is primarily to modify the ramps on the project. All the ramps will be changed as a part of this project, providing new access into downtown during the closure of the bridges and after the closure. But all access from the west side of the project will be changed in order to keep it open during the closure of the bridge. Some of the things that are happening on this project currently, the 6th Avenue North ramp has been open. It was open during the weekend, and so we're glad to get that back open. I know that's been a concern of many traveling motorists as well as the city of Birmingham. A month or so, we closed the 12th Court Bridge, which was an issue especially for a couple of schools, and we worked with those schools to try to accommodate them as part of the closure. This bridge will be closed for approximately a year to get it reconstructed. They will remove the old bridge and build a new bridge. Adjacent to this bridge, there was a utility bridge that was constructed and put in place last week. This was done to replace or remove the utilities off the existing bridge so the bridge can be demolished. The ramp at 6th Avenue North, it will be closed on, 16th Street will be closed next week. You'll see that some flyers have gone out on that, and you will see that going forward in the future. On October the 6th, we will close this ramp, and we'll notices have gone out already to the community, and we'll continue to keep that information notifying the community of this closure. This is a shot of the rendering of the project at interchange at 65 and 5920. We're looking south toward Montgomery. What I want to make reference to on this shot is that all the ramps, if you can notice all the ramps are all being separated from the main line 65 and 5920. This is a ramp that goes from 11th Avenue to 65 South. This is from 59 northbound. It's pulled away. This is from 65 southbound. The ramps are all separated from the main line. By doing that, the level of service of the interchange and the main line functions better. And we feel that the functionality of the interchange will change with this new proposed interchange modification. Phase 3 consists of the reconstruction of the Red Mountain Expressway interchange and the bridges downtown, the elevated section of the bridges downtown. There will be 2 ramps that will have to be constructed prior to closing the bridges downtown to provide access into downtown and out of downtown during the closures. Once that takes place, and we have the new ramps in place at Red Mountain Expressway, and we'll have the new ramps in place at 65 interchange, we will close the bridges downtown, and that will be a part of it. This project is scheduled to be let to contract in November. This is another shot of a proposed rendering of the interchange at Red Mountain Expressway. As I noted at the 65 interchange, all the ramps are being pulled away from the main line. The new access into downtown is by way of 25th Street, and leaving downtown is by way of 25th Street. But when you leave downtown, you don't have to get into the main line. Traffic actually go over the main line and get on parallel ramps to enter the interstate. All the ramps are being pulled away and separated from the main line. As stated before, the functionality of the bridges will be better. This is an estimated timeline of the project. Phase A, as we talked about earlier, will be finished spring of 2017. That's the bridges at 12th Avenue and 31st Street. The phase 1 is complete, as we previously stated. Phase 2, the interchange at 65, it should be finished by August of 2018. And that will provide the new ramp access into downtown on the west side. Phase 3, which is the Red Mountain Expressway and the reconstruction of the mainline bridges, it will be let to contract November the 4th, 2016, and construction should begin by January of 2017. We anticipate the completion of that project in April of 2020. The actual closing of the bridges downtown, which is the elevated section, should take place the fall of 2018. And it should only take 1 year for us to complete this operation. This is a little more detail of how the construction will take place. The downtown access ramps, which are both at I-65 and Red Mountain Expressway, were taking place. And then during that same period of time, the segmental sections will be constructed off-site will be taking place at the same time. And some of the foundation work underneath the existing bridge will take place. And then the mainline bridge will be closed at that point in time, while segmental construction of the sections are continuing, and the mainline bridge will be demolished and the new bridge will be constructed. During the whole time, there will be surface work that will be taking place underneath the bridge. This includes sidewalks, repairing and replacing some of the streets underneath the bridge. Also, we will have some additional work from grading will take place during that period of time. And there's a culvert, a large culvert that will have to be installed underneath the bridge. As stated earlier, we have continued to reach out to the community, and we will continue that process. We've met with neighborhood leaders, we've met with the city, we have met with school officials, we have gone to the school to meet with them, especially at Tuggle Elementary and Wilkerson Middle School, because of the closing of the 12th Court Bridge, which affected the commute of the students to and from school. We're also working with Tuggle to provide a safe walk-to-school program, which should be instituted in the next month or so. We have distributed flyers to both communities to make sure that they're aware of the closures of the ramps and the opening of some other ramps. Our goal is to continue to provide information to the community by way of media and by way of social media, including our website, which is 5920bridge.com, or through Twitter and Facebook, which is 5920bridge. At this time, if we have any questions, as I mentioned earlier, you could have chatted to questions, or we can take audio questions, but we'll need to take them one at a time as we go through the question and answer period. And this is informal, so if you have any comments, how we can make this better for the future, or if we can provide you information prior to the briefing that will provide better information and give you a better opportunity to understand what we're going forward. Our goal is to keep you informed so that you can keep the community and the traveling motorists informed. So why don't we start at the top if someone has a question, and we'll go through individuals who are listed from the top of our attendance list. Who's the first person? Yeah. Rachel, do you have any questions? Can we bring her on? Can you unmute her? Rachel, we have unmuted you. You can ask a question if you choose to.
Unmuted.
Rachel typed a question in the chat. It says the bridges downtown between 65 and RME are closing. When that work begins, is that fall of 2018?
That is correct. Fall of 2018 is when the elevated sections will be closed downtown. Edward, do you have a question?
Hey, can y'all hear me or no? This is Rachel.
Yes, we can hear you, Rachel. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, it just bumped me out of the conversation, so it took me a second to get back in. I was just going to ask about the bridges between 65 and Red Mountain. You said that they were going to be closing, but that construction was going to start in fall 2018, so they're going to close like right before that time period.
What's going to take place is, as I stated, we're currently working on the interchange at 65, and when we let the next phase of the project, it would include both the modification of the Red Mountain Expressway interchange to provide new access into downtown. When the new access points ramps are complete, the elevated section between 15th and 23rd Street will be closed. And it will be closed for approximately a year's time for them to remove the existing bridges and construct the new bridges.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Edward, do you have a question? Aaron, do you have a question? Aaron? Okay, Edward, is he online? Edward called in on the phone, so I'm trying to answer his question. Okay, Edward's question was will the section between Red Mountain Expressway and, if I understood his question, between Red Mountain Expressway 65, will it be closed for 3 years? No, it would only be closed for 1 year. The first part of the project is to actually rebuild the access into downtown, and then we'll close the bridges down. Are there any other questions?
Unmuted.
Let's see if WBR
Muted. Unmuted.
We'll see if WBRC has any questions, and WVTM as well.
Yeah, I've unmuted everyone. If anyone has some questions, feel free to go for it. WRC, do you have a question? So is there anyone, I've unmuted everyone. Is there any questions for anyone?
I have one more question. This is Rachel.
Okay, Rachel.
You said that October 6th, so on Thursday, you guys are going to reopen the 12th Avenue Bridge and then at the same time close the 31st Street Bridge, right?
Well, 31st Street Bridge will actually be closed on the 10th, and they'll start demolition of the 31st Street Bridge on the 11th. But as I mentioned earlier, the ramps to 31st Street will still be open to provide access by way of the ramps to alternate routes on the detour that we showed earlier.
Okay, so 31st Street closes on the 11th, not the 6th.
10th. Actually,
On
the
the
bridge is supposed to be on the 10th.
10th,
demolition-
and the work starts on the 11th.
The demolition will actually start on the 11th of the year.
Okay.
Okay. I've had some individuals indicate that they can't hear. Is there anyone that cannot hear? Is there some issues there?
Yeah, and I was just going to share, for those who may be on their web, it's dependent upon your internet connection. When you sign in, you have an option to choose computer audio or phone call. Also, during the presentation, you're welcome to click the audio button at the top of the control tab, and you'll see that you have the ability during the presentation to also select phone call, and it will give you a telephone number to call in. For some of you who have a bad web connection, that may be a little easier for you. But of course, ALDOT, through Linda, we're available to answer any questions and one-on-one interviews as well. This is just intended to be an informational update. As to Derek's question, it will be archived on the web. If you want to visit the website under the news tab, it will be archived there under updates. You can also email Linda and she'll be happy to send you a direct link.
Any other questions? If you are not able to ask your question, feel free to call us, and we'll set up individual times to talk to you about the questions that you have. All right, thank you for attending, and please give us your comments relative to the process. We would like to streamline it and get out any kinks that we have going forward, because we would like to keep you updated as we go forward. But as was stated earlier, if you want individual interviews, feel free to contact Linda. Have a good day.